Okay, the only other correction I need to make, and by the way, that truck has been having its lights on for several hours now. The only other correction that I forgot to make earlier, and it's now 10. We got our power back from Dominion Energy, so that is awesome. I mean, that's just awesome. There's a lot of places nearby that haven't. And the blue glowing and the red glowing and the orange glowing that I was talking about earlier, that was from, I have 2 neighbors in front of my apartment, my studio apartment, that have generators. 2 neighbors side by side. So that's from their generators. And my grandmother and I, we were actually visiting with one of them for a little bit. We had stopped by to give them some sausage that we had to cook because it thawed. And she just helped me cook some of my meat that thawed. And I need to make sure that the pre-cooked stuff is well cooked through. And I need to eat it within the day or 2, she says. But we were there, and then the husband, my grandmother's friend's husband, comes down the stairs and he goes, "Y'all hear that?" We go, "Huh?" He goes, "It's quiet." And we're like, "What?" He goes, "That means the generator's done, which means the power's back on." And we step out, and sure enough, the lamp posts were back on. So we all just like hooped and hollered. You know, everybody in the streets was like, "Whoa, we got our power back." Oh, look, little gecko. Hi, buddy. Okay, bye-bye. That's a little baby gecko. But yeah, our power is back on. I couldn't be more grateful to Dominion Energy. And really, we're lucky that it was back on, because we have underground power lines apparently. And that's why we were fortunate enough for it to come back on. So yeah, there's a lot of people that still don't have power. I hope that they get power soon, but they have overhead power lines, and they might be out of power for days. I don't know what's going to go on with my college. I don't know if they're just going to have to cancel some things. I can go into detail on that later, but yeah. And what's weird is, so you see this blanket and it says 2 now. That's because it's been back on for an hour. See, because that says 2 as well. When I got back home, that said 1, and this said 1. And that means that my power went out at 1. That's what that means, because the time stopped on, the clock stopped at 1. And when it turned back on, it was at 1. I went to bed at 1, and I didn't know the power was out, which was crazy to me. So maybe we lost power before my friend did, because she lives over the river. You know, we're technically in different states, but it's literally the same area. She lives over the river, and she woke up right before her power went out, and she woke up around 3:30. I woke up around 4-ish, just because my body woke me up, and I noticed that it was humid. And I was like, why is the air not coming on? It's been like 5 minutes, and I can feel that it's humid. And then I realized, oh, my clock's off. The power went out. So I checked, and sure enough, light switch didn't turn on, and the power was out. But since that was at 1 and that was at 1, when they came back on, that means my power went out at 1 when I went to bed. And I didn't even notice. The clock was on the floor at that point, mind you, because I had literally put everything into the rooms that did not have windows and that had closing doors. Okay, because I live in a studio apartment. Like, window, 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 window. And I slept on that corner of my bed because I was afraid of something crashing through that window, because there is some sort of tree out there. And I moved my car from the lot there into their extra lot there, because I was afraid of something damaging the car. And I mean, we all joked about it. We were like, you know, even my landlord, she was like, crazily enough, I was just worried about my other rental properties. And I was like, look, I moved my car because I was like, shit, if it's damaged, my dad's gonna have a field day. Like, if a tree falls on my fucking car, my dad's gonna be pissed out his gourd, okay? And so we just laughed about that because we were more worried about our stuff than us. And that's crazy, but you look at Florida and, oh, that's another thing I have to correct. So I think the people who want to leave Florida, who don't have the funds, I think they should be given the help in order to leave. Okay? That's my opinion on that. Other than that, the people who choose to stay, they choose to stay. That's on them. I'm not going to try and change their minds because that's on them. People apparently stayed against the mandatory evacuation just to stay in their home, to make sure their stuff was okay. So I really don't think me moving the stuff away from the windows and moving my car is crazier than people staying in Florida on purpose in the areas that were going to be struck hard because they didn't want their stuff to get damaged. I packed up that suitcase with food, my purse, which has my wallet for, like, if I needed to pay for something. It has, then again, I didn't have that much cash, but just in case, I guess, if I got somewhere that actually could use card. Food, my water bottle, which is there, and then, like, some other just things for me, like hand lotion, which was already in my purse, another drink, in case I needed to leave immediately. And I had pants on, I had these pants on, and I had my car keys laying right by me so that if I needed to leave, I could just get my car keys, grab that, sling it over my shoulders, run down to my car, step into the flooded fucking alleyway that apparently I diagnosed correctly and we fixed. That's the way my landlord's husband, I guess he's technically my landlord too, but that's the way he put it. He was like, "Thank you for diagnosing the drain." He just, every time he talked about it, he used the word diagnose, which I thought was hilarious. But anyways, like, I think what I did was rational. I don't think staying in Florida when there's a mandatory evacuation simply because you want to stay with your belongings, I don't think that's rational. I moved my stuff to the rooms that I knew would be the most protected in the event of, shit, I gotta get out of here. And I knew that if I had to leave, I did what I could to save them, and if they weren't saved, that was that. And that would be fine. Because my life is more important than shoes, or clothes, or stuffed animal, or mugs, or school supplies. Like, so I was prepared to just leave all my shit and run. But yeah, so those were the corrections I want to make. Just want to make those clear. And again, thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who lost their lives. I watched the news at my grandmother's for a little bit while she was helping me cook the meat that I should put back in the freezer now, actually, while I'm thinking about it. I'll make another video. Hold on.